my name is Indy and today I'm out of focus. Today my shelf is looking very bare because I'm going to be talking about the Harry Potter series. I just reread them and I want to do a little minor discussion, a quick little discussion about rereading the series and the series as a whole. I'm holding these and they are very heavy. I'm going to put them back now. I'm being so casual today that I've only got one light out because I didn't feel like setting up and being too fancy today, so we just chucked this all together. But I really just want to talk about the series quickly. So I'm rereading the series. I read it first when I was about 12, which was 7 years ago. So funny, the 7, it worked out like that. And I have been reading it for like a Australian Harry Christmas to you. So I started on the 1st of July and now I've officially finished on the 25th of September. So it took me like 3 months to finish these books, but it's okay. I'm happy and I've read other books in between, so it was great. Such a great series, of course. If you haven't read it, then you need to. It's been a part of my childhood for a very long time. We used to get the cassette tapes out from the library when I was very young and I used to listen to them, and when I was really young my mum used to read it to me and my sister every night, and then, you know, when I was 12 I actually read the series for myself, and it just feels like home, the Harry Potter series. Like, you can just go into it and I don't know, because I grew up so much with it and probably a lot of you, it's just this world that lots of us grew up with, especially with the movies coming out and stuff. It's just such a magical world, but it's just home. You just read it and you just feel at home and it's just so easy to get into and you already know the story and everything, so sometimes that's a really great thing. And I couldn't say that I'd want to go back and read the whole series again with fresh eyes so much. Like, maybe, but I'm really happy that I know so much about it and it's been such a big part of my life and I love it so much. So I believe I read the first 2 in July. It took me such an unreasonably long amount of time to read these because these are only 200 pages a piece. This one is just 200, this one's about 220. I love these. I love how they're in paperback and they don't even have hardcovers of these. I like how when they got to the 5th book they were like, probably should get up on America's level and put some hardcovers in, but yeah, these were great. This one, so nostalgic. I enjoyed it. I love the direct quotes that they use from the movie from this book, and it was so short and just where it all began. And this one I didn't enjoy as much because it's not really my favorite movie anyway. I think definitely when I was young I overloaded on this movie way too much when it came out. Oh, when did it come out? Like 2002? This book was pretty good but still not my favorite really because of that reasoning. Moving on to the next 2 books, Prisoner of Azkaban is probably my favorite. It's always been my favorite movie, but now I just read the 7th book. I'm like, oh, I enjoy this one still. I really enjoy this storyline because it is not all based around Voldemort. It is based around Sirius Black, but you know, he is connected to Voldemort. But that's what I really enjoy about the story, is it's not to do with Voldemort directly and it's a different storyline. And I guess it's a bit about family as well. He finds out it's his godfather. They're starting to grow up and they're sort of like a bit more serious. And Goblet of Fire. This one took me forever to read. I think I was reading it before and after Booktubeathon in August, and it was my favorite book. I'm gonna say in the series this was definitely my favorite book. I enjoyed this one the most because of the new characters. We got so many more characters in this one, not only I think at Hogwarts, but just because, you know, the Beauxbatons and the Durmstrang, and I just loved hearing about Fleur and Victor and just about the traditions of the other schools and relationship between the Wizarding schools and the world, and I really enjoyed that, and I found the tasks really interesting even though I didn't like Ron and Harry fighting so much, but I still really enjoyed this one. It was so action-packed. Not that the other ones weren't, but this one was like really cool and I liked this one the best probably. The next book I have is the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, The Order of the Phoenix, and I quite enjoyed this one. I think it took me a very long time because, as we know, it is the biggest one in the series, so it kind of got me down a bit. I got a bit slumpy because I was like, I'm just getting nowhere. Can't really remember my feelings on this one. I think I sort of just plowed on through it. I do enjoy that they're getting a bit older and the introduction of the Order of the Phoenix and going to Grimmauld Place, which I have been to at Harry Potter World. Yes, I have been there, but it was great. I think this one was good. There was a lot of secrecy and a lot of like, you know who is back, but I think this one as a whole was a pretty good book. There was the whole romance between Cho, and then we start to see that Ginny's a bit of a bloody mix around her, isn't she? Because I think she was dating Michael Corner in this one, and then she moves on to Dean for the next one before she gets to Harry. I'm like, Jesus, Ginny, why does everyone think she's so like pretty? Okay, I think that Bonnie Wright is quite pretty, but like even Victor Crumb was like trying to hit on her in the last one. Everyone's like, oh, she's a pretty girl. Like, Why is she directing so much attention just randomly? Good old Umbridge, love her, not really, but I loved that they were trying to fight her and everything. I don't know, it's just a good book. I just finished Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince earlier in the month. I did enjoy this one. It's not my favorite movie. I think it's the movie I hate the most out of all of them. Everyone seems to hate Goblet of Fire and I don't understand why that's a bad movie, but I don't like this movie very much, but this book did make me want to watch it again for certain aspects. This one is so full of like teenage angst and everyone is dating everyone and it's just hilarious. There's so much teen drama and I really liked it. I liked seeing Harry and Ginny. Even though they were only there for like the tiniest little bit, but like in the movie they kind of played it up more but then also didn't at all. But good old One and Lavender and then like McLaggen and Hermione, even though that was not a thing. I really like this one and it's sort of got, you know, the serious finding the Horcruxes with Dumbledore, so you know, going to the cave and those sort of things, so it's had to get more serious in that aspect, which I didn't mind. It's, I don't know, I found that part a little bit boring even though that's like the whole premise of the thing, is the Horcruxes. But very good. I just enjoyed the teen drama most out of this book. I forgot that I really like the whole story of the Half-Blood Prince book, the potions book, and Hermione gets like really pissed off that Harry is so much better at potions. And I kind of like Slughorn. The Felix Felicis is still the best. Like, I don't want to say they did it better in the movie, but I think it's just a better representation to see it on film rather than in this. But I love the Felix Felicis things. It's just great. I loved it so much. Lastly, we have the Deathly Hallows, and I'm already sort of mentally blinking. I read this one this morning and I just can't even remember what happened now. It's really shocking. I do enjoy the consistency over this whole series of him going back to Privet Drive. I did get a little sick of it towards the end, but in the first couple books I really enjoyed that consistency. This one's great. I enjoyed that it was one book but it's two movies. I was really worried it was gonna last a long time. I really enjoyed this one as well. The storyline is great, even though it's kind of boring them camping in the forest just a little bit. I also did enjoy it very much. To see a lot more detail in things. That's what I most enjoy probably about the series, is a lot more detail with certain aspects than you see in the film. I liked them sneaking into the Ministry, that was a good point, and probably sneaking into Gringotts was also a really good point, but Battle at Hogwarts and everything, yeah, it was really sad and emotional, this book. Like, it really got me down sometimes, and I was like, oh, it's the last book, man. And I didn't like the ending. Like, I know what the ending is, 19 years later, but when they're just so happy like that, and they're just so, like, the closure. I hate it. I'm so bad with that. I get really upset, and I'm like, done. Oh, I just go into mourning like straight away. So as a series as a whole, I really enjoyed rereading it. I definitely think it was a good thing. Hopefully I can reread it sooner than 7 years next time I go to read it. It was a long slog, but I'm really sad now that it's over, so it's bittersweet, I guess you could say. I really enjoyed having the more detail than the films, like such as the Death Day party in Chamber of Secrets, just more depth to everything, and the characters are so much more funny and ridiculous in the books. Harry's so sassy, it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy, and like my childhood completely. I was just living in this Harry Potter bubble and now it's burst and it's over, and now I'm just gonna come back to like normal YA like fiction, and it just feels a little weird. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my little quick Harry Potter series wrap up. I didn't want to get too much into detail. I hope nothing was particularly spoilery, but surely, come on, it's Harry Potter, like how spoilery can you get now? So there's some feels and thoughts about the series and each book, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye! Moving on to the next two books, oh my god, it scared me. So I finished this one earlier. I forgot to say, throughout the whole process of reading the books, I kept thinking about all the things from Starkid's production of a Harry Potter musical. There's 3 of them. I will link them down below because they are amazing. I started watching them about 2011, and just fantastic work in everything that they did in little details from the books, and it's just amazing. So go definitely watch them, but I just kept thinking about all the things from all of those productions and it was so funny.